So, hello, I'm Gila from Watchitoo, our Director of Sales and Partnerships, and have here Andrew Galetka, our VP of Corporate Development. We're excited to be streaming PivotCon to an online audience and also talking a little bit about Watchitoo. So, Andrew, for those that don't know Watchitoo, if you could tell us a little bit about what it is.
Sure, Gila, I'd be happy to. And thank you for setting this up. This is great. So Watchitoo is a video-enabled live streaming platform. It has some very unique attributes to it, which I'm sure we'll delve into. But to begin with, I'll just give you a introductory slide there, covering some of the more unique features. So Watchitoo allows multiple participants to interact with each other in a customized and brandable interface. So it differs from other live streaming platforms in ways that you can actually participate and be part of the conversation. Rather than just be a passive viewer, it's interactive.
And in terms of the interactivity, we're talking about social here at Pivot, sure. Social for business. Really, how is it integrating also with the other social platforms and allowing brands to kind of maximize that engagement?
Sure. So obviously, customization and being brand friendly is a big part of what we do. The platform itself has very deep social integration within it. We integrate deeply with Twitter and Facebook. To the point where you can authenticate users with Facebook Connect and obviously with their Twitter credentials. When they're in the platform, when they post chats into the platform, it'll send a tweet out to their Twitter account or post in their Facebook wall, which also creates a viral loop potential in the platform. So when they're posting, their friends will see what they're doing and potentially draw them in.
And in terms of the interactivity, what's exciting about being able to take some of those tweets, those Facebook posts, the chat comments, and bringing them into the conversation in the live environment?
Sure. So obviously interactivity and being able to engage with people, coming in with their webcams is a big part of what we do. But there's always people that don't necessarily want to come in with the webcams and want to be able to engage through text chat or through the Twitter and Facebook integration. So the ability to bring those people in and combine that with video provides something really unique, and again enhances the social potential of some of these events that we're working with, or some of these projects we're working on.
Great. So to tell those watching, how are you really working with brands? If we can give some examples, and content providers, as we see this really big shift to content creation online and original content creation. How are they leveraging really Watchitoo's interactive features?
Sure. So we're very much playing in that space of original content being created and distributed online. Obviously what we're doing is it's earlier than a lot of the other projects you're seeing. Obviously you're seeing big things with the YouTube initiative, with original content online and other networks just creating content and distributing digitally. But because we're live, and we're interactive, we're in kind of this unique space. But our platform is, as mentioned, the idea that brands can customize the user interface, bring in sponsor logos, bring in all types of product placement potential in live events, opens it up in a way that you can't really do with recorded content to make things engaging and interactive in real time. So it provides kind of a unique opportunity for sponsors in that sense.
Absolutely, because hey, who wouldn't want to see Kevin Durant live on webcam chatting when tens of thousands of fans are standing by?
So that's a good example. That's another thing. I mean, that's obviously on the Facebook page there. So Watchitoo is embedded on the Facebook environment, because obviously being customizable and embeddable, the entire platform being an iframe can really be embedded on any site, including Facebook. You can even embed on multiple sites at the same time. You can embed it on 5 different sites to join as much traffic as you'd like. And Facebook just being another site from Watchitoo's perspective, works really well for that.
Right, to bring in that community.
Sure.
So when you talk about brands leveraging our environment, how do you think brands and some of these big networks that we see here on screen are really looking at this live experience differently than traditional content or pre-recorded content? You mentioned YouTube and other players. Video has obviously taken huge leaps. How is it shifting?
Sure. So so brands have always been, I believe, very into the live space. You often go to a live concert and you'll see brands maybe, if it's a free concert, brands may be the only form of monetization there. Sponsored brands we're taking that concept, moving it online. So the idea that you can host potentially an event that's open for all, but brands can be part of the experience, they can monetize through that, through that method. They can sell sponsorships to brands, and having that ability, is an interesting space that we're in.
Yeah. So maybe we can show them some of the advertising opportunities, but I think the allowing brands to really monetize the content is the shift that we're seeing here going online. And it's at its infancy, but maybe you can share some really exciting recent big events that we've seen online and how we're seeing a shift really to curation of original online live programming.
Definitely. So, we obviously work with a lot of networks and production companies. A lot of what we've been doing recently has been focused around, second screen content. So after show live chats, take an episode of a show that's particularly engaging, and push people online after that show through promos during the commercial break, online promotion using social networks to drive traffic to these events, and there you have afterwards essentially an inexpensive way to continually engage that talent. They're there anyway, and have them engage with their user base and bring in those super fans, those people that would like to explore the topics a little bit more in depth, online. And after that, you have this great piece of original content that you've just created, with fan engagement. That obviously, though we're a live platform, that content can live in VOD forever, and that becomes a valuable piece of content.
Yeah, I mean, take not to give Red Bull a plug, but this stunt that just happened a few days ago might go down in history as the biggest, most impressive live event to date, and people are obviously still talking about it, and everyone is giving Red Bull credit and love for this brilliance. So
yeah, it's a prime sponsorship opportunity for Red Bull there, and obviously, having that kind of exposure on a live event, it's fantastic. I mean, thankfully the event went off well, and nothing negative happened, but it was a great opportunity. And we saw the same thing recently, or a similar thing, with the idea of live streaming, what would something that which would traditionally maybe be on TV, although what happened with the Sky Jump was also on TV. I think the primary source of viewership was on the YouTube Live. So what happened, the Jon Stewart, Bill O'Reilly debate, that was a live stream that was premium content that would traditionally be on a cable network, be monetized very heavily. They decided to do that purely online and charge, I think, $4.95 for people to view the stream, and it was immensely successful. I mean, it was, I think it overwhelmed even their greatest expectations of how many people would come in to view that content. But now there you go, you've removed all the traditional content delivery sources and delivered this premium content directly to consumers, which I think is it's a fantastic evolution.
Do you see that being the shift, even with Watchitoo and just live online in general? People slowly starting to charge like we're used to in linear television, pay to view online when it's really high quality content?
Sure. So I think in general, we're definitely moving towards a video on demand era where you pay for what you want to view, and everyone is, we're seeing that on so many different levels, with people cutting the cord with their TV and using Netflix and other types of services to be their primary viewing source. So for online content, it's becoming, especially traditional content that was once on TV going online, it's becoming a major way of delivering it. And I do believe that it's only going to get bigger. I don't think we're going to displace television completely, especially in the live space, but I think that it's becoming definitely a bigger piece of the pie.
Yeah, second screen, people taking their content wherever they go. So
sure.
Kind of with that in mind, we're talking a lot about public applications, and maybe if we can shuffle through a few of these are all client-facing and public-facing, consumer-facing applications of brands using Watchitoo on their homepage or on a Facebook page. I don't know if we can shuffle through a few more of those.
So we have a few of them. I'll just go back quickly. So one of these is Vancouver Sun. This is an interesting example because obviously Best Buy was a sponsor here. You can see that they integrated their logo into the layout, so the Watchitoo iframe in the event there, and obviously, you can see the multiple webcams and them they're discussing, an ice hockey game that took place recently. The next example, this is what we were discussing earlier, is something we work with VH1. This is the, Mob Wives, which is obviously, a big property of theirs, and they've been drawing a lot of traffic and a lot of social traffic around this show. So the idea of being able to promote the show with a live event where you can actually interact with with one of the Mob Wives, is obviously huge. And they had a virtual host, and one of the great things about this event, which is definitely true with live streaming in general, especially interactive, is every person on this screen was in a different geographic location. Nobody was in the same place, and their experience in using the platform and being able to communicate with one another was identical. I think we had somebody in Florida and somebody in New York and someone in LA, so they were really all over the place. And here's another example, and this was more of this is the finale of the Glee project that we work with Oxygen on. So right after the finale episode, they pushed viewers online and gave them the ability to interact with the cast of the show. And then, of course, you used it as a way to promote other shows that demographic would surely be interested in, they had coming up. So this was definitely an interesting, another interesting use of the platform around that promotional after-show live chat concept.
And I think broke some of Oxygen's social records.
Yeah, so the amount of viewers that you can be drawn to these things is, obviously being live, it's going to be very difficult to get the hundreds of millions of views that you've seen on YouTube, certain videos drawing. But if you promote these events correctly and you draw in that user base, you can definitely get 100,000 people concurrently viewing a live event, and maybe 10,000, 20,000 activating their webcams on the idea that they could be one of those people brought in to engage with the talent. So it's definitely definitely a unique space, and this is another example. This is something more in the event space, or more of, there was a candy called Unreal, and they used our platform to unveil this new brand that they created for this candy. This was live on Facebook, and you can see all the different bloggers commenting on what was going on. So this is another use of the platform, and again, customized look and feel on Facebook has the ability to draw in that viral traffic.
Awesome. So kind of we see a lot of those public-facing either product launches, program or extension program as we call it, pre-show, after-show, second screen. If you can talk a little bit about the technology also as an internal communication tool, how are brands also leveraging it to maximize internal ROI, sales, marketing? I know those have been topics of conversation out on the floor here today.
Sure. So, we're definitely seeing a trend, and we work with a number of companies in this space, especially companies who have large direct selling forces where they want to communicate with everybody, and they want to do it in a highly curated and customized way. An example would be Avon, who we work with, where they communicate with their huge sales force all over the country using our platform, and they'll bring in various celebrity guests, and they're using that really as an internal method to build their brand amongst their salespeople. And we're seeing more and more of that, and working with more brands in the direct selling space, but also in other spaces that want to communicate and use the Watchitoo tool as an effective communications platform.
Great. So as a cloud-based solution, and something that's also no download is required, easily installable, kind of transforming also how these types of video conferencing and streaming technologies scale. Do you have any exciting announcements related to Watchitoo that you want to share exclusively with the Pivot audience and kind of?
Definitely. So we recently, as obviously as you know, we recently released Watchitoo Playground, which is plground.com. You can go there and open a trial account. Really what it does is it harnesses some of the more consumer-oriented features of Watchitoo and allows you to use it in a consumer capacity to communicate with your friends and collaborate. So opposed to all of the features that the full-blown Watchitoo has, you can use this just for your general communication purposes, and it's a fantastic platform that I think really is going to revolutionize the way that people communicate online with webcams and collaborate. So please feel free to open yourself a trial account and try it. And obviously we look forward to hearing feedback.
Yeah, everyone go ahead, check out Watchitoo and check out Playground, and use the PivotCon hashtag and tweet at us at Watchitoo. We look forward to hearing your feedback and seeing more interactive programming.
Great, thank you for your time.
Andrew.
And thanks, Sheila.